everyone, so today is going to be another haul video. Recently, I don't know why, but I had this Stephen King phase. I saw some vintage inspired covers from Hodder. I don't know why, but I just really like that sort of vintage horror book covers. There's something appealing about it because it kind of reminds me of like retro theater movie posters and stuff like that. So I kind of went on sort of a rampage and just ordered a bunch of Stephen King books. And I think the autumn and the winter season is like the perfect time to pick up a Stephen King book. The only thing is I've only read like a collection of short stories by Stephen King and I really enjoyed it, but I haven't read any of his full-length novels before, so this might be interesting. I'm really hoping that I end up really liking Stephen King because otherwise, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about all the books that I got. I hear that, you know, you can love Stephen King but there are books that you also won't like, so I feel like I'll have a few hit and misses here for my wallet's sake. I hope that I end up enjoying all of the books that I ended up picking. There's definitely a few Stephen King books that I want to read but I'm still very scared of because they're huge. And some of these ones are pretty big, but anyway, we'll get straight into the video. So the very first book that I picked up was Carrie by Stephen King, and can you just see this book? Oh my gosh, I actually really enjoy the 1976 film adaptation of Carrie. I don't know why, but I really liked that film, and I believe that Carrie is Stephen King's first published novel. I'm very curious because I also have watched the film adaptation of it and really enjoyed that. I feel like I would like this book as well. I'm not too sure, but I've always wanted to read it. You know, compared to his other books, it's pretty short. Hopefully I can get through this quickly. This is the lovely Hodder old school horror vintage inspired covers, and there's Carrie. These books are like very floppy, so you won't get those creases on the spine. You can open it right up. And yeah, I appreciate that in a paperback. Super excited for Carrie. Hopefully I end up liking it. The next book I have here is Cell, and again, beautiful cover art. With Cell, I don't actually know much of the premise. I'm a little like wary getting into this. I'm pretty sure that there was a movie adaptation of Cell as well. This is one of the books that I ended up adding to the order without really knowing much about it. This one's gonna be sort of a surprise. It's a little bit thicker, but I think it's doable. How many pages is this? Oh, it's just under 500 pages. I'm going into this one pretty blind. I'm hoping to like it. The next one is one of his more famous works. I mean, he has a lot of famous books, but this one I am really super excited, and it is Misery. This one just seems like a nightmare of a situation. I just feel like this one will be intense, especially because this one character is just trapped in this one house and he's trying to escape. It seems like the character will be pretty isolated the whole time or most of the time. And again, it's got this beautiful vintage cover art and I'm just in love. I think this one might be my favorite cover out of this classic sort of vintage collection. The next book I have is Firestarter. This one I don't really know much about. Again, I picked this up because I don't know, during like the whole bushfires that were happening in Australia, I know this is sort of morbid of me to kind of reach for a book about people that can start fires during that period of time. I ended up picking this up because I was just like kind of trying to immerse myself into something that was so horrific that was going on here in Australia at the time. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. This is about people that have these abilities to create fire. I don't know if they're gonna be bad or what. I'm really unsure about this one because I haven't really heard much about Firestarter, but I'm hoping I like it. I'm going into this one again blind. I don't really know much of the premise, only that it has kids that have these abilities. Whether it's for good or for a horrific purpose, it's probably the latter, let's be honest, but I'm really hoping that this will just give me what I want in terms of Stephen King. Not that I know what that means yet. The next one I have is a bit of a chunker, and it is Christine the Demon Car. It's a car that's possessed and starts killing people. What? That is just such a crazy and weird idea, and I just thought that it was ridiculous, but I felt like it could also be very intriguing. I'm not much of a car person, but this might make me even more paranoid to drive around in a car. I'm really excited. Again, this is one of the vintage inspired covers. It's just beautiful. I also appreciate in these editions, the writing isn't really tiny, so I feel like I could read through it quicker and I won't be straining my eyes. Christine, beautiful. Okay, so the next one is a classic. It is The Shining. This one is one that I'm super excited about. I know it's a known fact that Stephen King does not like the Kubrick adaptation of this story, but let me tell you, I love The Shining. I feel conflicted because the author does not like that movie. You know what? I really liked it, but I want to find out how different the book is to the movie. I hope I'm still gonna love the book just as much, hopefully even more than the movie adaptation, but I feel like that movie adaptation has a special place in my heart. But this is one that I have wanted to read for years and I still haven't. I feel like 2020 is the year, especially because we're all trapped inside, can't go anywhere. Perfect. Actually, you know what? This might be the perfect read for self-isolation. The last book I have is The Long Walk. This is, again, people that are in this horrific situation where they have to keep walking. Oh my gosh, 100 boys must keep a steady pace of 4 miles per hour without ever stopping. I guess the winner gets a prize. I'm pretty sure if you stop walking, they either kill you or there's some sort of serious kind of consequence. It's again one of his shorter works. I do appreciate that it's another floppy paperback. Very intrigued by this premise. I do have 2 other books by Stephen King that was not a recent purchase. I have The Green Mile that I've always wanted to read. It's just really long, but I have a friend that absolutely loves that book and is always recommending me to read it, so I do want to get to The Green Mile as well sometime this year. I also have It that I wanted to get through as well. I loved the recent movie adaptation of It. I know there's a bit of controversial topics or things that happen in the books and I'm a bit wary. I feel like it's gonna make me uncomfortable, but overall I really just want to see what else that wasn't in the movies that are in the books. So that is it. These are all the books that I got and I'm super excited. Look how pretty it is on the stack. I can't wait to get into some of these, especially now that the weather is sort of cooling down. I mean, today is actually pretty warm, but we get some colder days in Australia. Obviously not as cold as some of the other countries, but it's the perfect time to get reading because of the whole coronavirus situation. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but if I'm not working, I'm trying to entertain myself at home. At least it is the perfect time to be reading and getting into stories, and yeah, and I just hope that all of you guys are keeping safe. Hope you guys are all okay. Hopefully you guys find some really awesome books to read during this time. Hopefully I get into some Stephen King books. So yeah, bye!